promises are too good to be true. So when we found out that CCP Games were making a PS3 exclusive console shooter that would connect with their massively multiplayer space opera, EVE Online, we were more than a little skeptical. Can the breakneck pace of a deathmatch shooter fit alongside an online RPG? Can console and PC gamers really play together? Can two online worlds really connect across countries, platforms and playstyles? Now, having spent some quality time with Dust 514, we can try to answer some of those questions, although the answers might not be as simple as you expect. It's impossible to talk about Dust without talking about EVE. EVE Online went live in May 2003. An online galaxy of warring factions and empty space, its claim to fame has been its level of player freedom, where corporations, armies and even the economy are run by its online subscribers. Part experiment, part future vision, EVE has grown each year, adding new content piece by piece. Dust 514 has to be the biggest piece yet. A free-to-play first-person shooter, its online deathmatches directly impact the world of EVE. Dust's mercenaries can be hired by EVE players to wage war for them, gathering vital resources and fighting off rival factions. Equally, Dust players can call on EVE pod pilots to help them in battle, with orbital strikes raining down from one game to another. It's an incredibly ambitious idea, and one that has yet to be fully realised. As an MMO developer, CCP Games are not used to the idea of a finished game. After a decade of tweaks and changes, EVE is still changing, progressing with each patch and add-on. Dust is the same. The beta version we've been spending time with is the beginning of Dust's story, not its end. That means even as we speak, Dust will be changing, evolving towards its future. That's not to say that what we've been playing was unfinished, far from it in fact. No, Dust 514 even now is an online shooter with plenty to offer. It's an experience that most closely resembles the Battlefield games, particularly the near-future warfare of Battlefield 2142. Large maps, vehicles and territory to control give Dust matches much the same pace as the DICE's venerable online series of shooters, with treks to combat hotspots setting a slow pace before you descend into the chaos of all-out warfare. Sadly, where the game seems to fall short is in its map design, with the few available on the beta feeling distinctly empty and fragmented. Controlling the flow of combat in an online shooter is delicate art, and it's one CCP Games have yet to master. Despite this, when you do find yourself in a well-paced battle, things start to make a lot more sense. Vehicles play a key role, allowing players to mobilize an assault on enemy strongpoints, and there's a solid feel to the way they fire and maneuver. When you are rolling into battle in a tank, while dropships swarm overhead, the game begins to feel like a true future war. Unfortunately, when you are on foot, things seem a lot less dramatic. This is all down to the game's first-person controls being distinctly clumsy. Aiming is slippery and movement uneven, but worst of all is the combat's distinct lack of weight. Firing on an enemy can often feel like trying to hit them with a futuristic super soaker, and lacks the sense of violence and impact needed for online play. Unsurprisingly, the aspect of Dust that is in rude health is its upgrade and leveling system. This is where the game most resembles EVE, with the skill point system that sees you training specific skills in order to use new weapons and equipment. Weapon-wise, there's a huge market on offer, with an economy that's set to be tied in with EVE's at some point in the future. Looking into this side of Dust, you may well get a severe feeling of vertigo, as endless lists and 7-digit numbers slip past your eyes. But it's nice to see that the game is staying true to the EVE universe and all the complexity that implies. Our time with Dust 514 has left us with more questions than answers. We're not sure if it can ever live up to its huge promises, but one thing is for sure, CCP Games have captured our curiosity.